So I've had my Goal Zero Yeti 1000 power station for 5 years now. In this review, I'm going to tell you everything I love about it, things I don't like about it, all the ways that I use it, and I'm even going to cover all the accessories that I've used over the years. This is my full review of the Goal Zero Yeti 1000 power station. So this Yeti power station is 1000 watts. Has a built-in inverter, a pure sine wave inverter, 1500 watt with a 3000 watt surge. I've never had any problems with anything I've plugged in to the power station, including high power output, things like a coffee pot. Now, granted, coffee pots can take a lot of power out of this thing if you're using them, but I've never had any trouble running any of my devices on this thing. So what I use most on my power station is probably the 4 USB ports on the front. I use this to charge my radios, my phone, all my USB devices. So one of the accessories I use is just the storage bag. I actually really like this storage bag a lot. The power station itself is, I think, close to 50 pounds, so it's not super light. But the handles on this bag and the strap on this bag have held up really well over the years, so I'm super stoked about that. It's also fairly well padded, so it keeps your power station clean, dry, and safe when you're storing it or when you're just trying to transport it around, like at a campsite or something like that. The one thing I will say about the storage bag is, on the power station itself, it has cooling fans on the sides. So one thing and you don't want to let your power station overheat. So one thing I have noticed is when it's hotter outside, if I'm transporting the power station inside the storage bag, sometimes I hear the fans kick on. So what that tells me is having it stored in the bag, maybe like in my car or something, like it can start to overheat pretty quickly. So it's never been a problem. I've always mitigated that by just removing it from the bag or getting some cool air flowing in the car or whatever it takes. But it's something to keep in mind. You don't want these things to overheat. So one accessory I bought when I bought the power station was the MPPT optimization power module. So Goal Zero will tell you that this helps to increase your charging by like 40%. I never charged the power station without it, so I can't do a baseline comparison, but what I can tell you is it charges fast and I've never had any problems with the module itself. So for $100, I think it's probably worth it. So another accessory that I use from Goal Zero that I pretty much totally geek out on are these light-a-lifes, or these mini lights that they have. You can daisy chain up to 8 of these together, and I think I have 6 of them right now, and I use these pretty much every time I'm off grid. So the way these things work is they plug into your power station, into the 12 volt, and then you can turn them on, a little switch at the top. It has 2 different brightness settings. So there's like a brighter and then a dimmer. I think these toggle between 100 lumens and 350 lumens. And like I said, you can daisy chain them together. The other thing I like about these is you can adjust the cover on them so you have either a more ambient light or a more focused light. So the way you do that is you just peel off this cover, flip it over, and then when you slide it back on there, it sort of changes the lighting of the lights. So I think these things still are like $40 a piece. And like I said, I think I have like 6 of them. One of the things that I like to do with them is when I'm off-grid camping, even though I have lithium batteries in my camper, I like to try to use the power station as much as I can. So one thing I do is I string my 6 lights together around the inside of my camper, plug them into my power station, and pretty much all of the lighting needs that I have inside of my camper can be facilitated through the Goal Zero. I will say too, one of the things that Goal Zero came out with not that long ago was this portable skylight. It's like an area light. It looks super rad, runs off of the power station. And I thought, they had a sale recently, so I thought, okay, I'm on this thing, man. This thing looks super awesome, so I'm gonna give it a try. Strangely enough, it just came in today as I was making the video, and I gotta tell you, like, this thing comes in a super hard-sided case. which is pretty impressive. It's got a lot of weight to it. So I am going to assume that the quality of this thing falls in line with all the other Goal Zero products I've experienced over the years. Probably in the very near future, I will do a gear review specifically on this skylight to let you know what I think about it. So one thing I can say that I don't like about the Power Station is my understanding of these types of devices is that you want to leave them plugged into shore power or plugged into your house, and you want to keep them topped off at all times. Well, from day one when I got my Goal Zero, I plugged it in to my house. I charged it all the way up as high as it would go. But then what I noticed is it'll stop charging and it won't keep the battery topped off. So for example, if I was to completely charge it fully and then come back in a few weeks and check it, it might be down to 92% or something like that. Like it's like keeping the power cable plugged into the wall does not keep it topped off. So I have to remember, if I go periods of time where I'm not using the Power Station, I have to remember to unplug it, wait probably a good 20 or 30 seconds, plug it back in, it'll start charging again, it'll top off the battery, but then it'll go through that cycle again. So I'm not totally sure that that was supposed to be by design, but it's something that I have to be aware of that I don't really love about the Power Station itself. So one thing I like to do when I'm out, boondocking is I can put my Goal Zero panel out in the sun and I can plug it into the power port on the side of my camper. This will essentially recharge my lithium batteries in my camper, which is awesome. Although I will state, if you're gonna do this kind of a solution, you will have to buy a solar charge controller from Goal Zero, because obviously the panels don't have a built-in controller. So you'll have to have that. The other thing that I noticed is, and I think this is pretty common, is your polarity can be reversed. So in order for me to plug my panel into the side of my camper, I had to buy a little polarity switcher. They're super cheap online. You can get like a 3-pack for $10 or something. They're super cheap. But otherwise the charging won't happen. So it's a little bit of a process there to know that you have to have the charge controller, potentially a polarity reverser, but the panels themselves can be used for recharging your camper as well. So I'll give you just a quick tip. If you decide to buy a solution like this, one thing that I think is important is to always save the box, because these lithium batteries have to be transported in a certain way. And if you ever have to return yours for a warranty repair or replacement, they're actually going to want you to keep the box. So there's a hot tip for you. So one thing I'll say is that, with all the new manufacturers out there doing this kind of technology, I think it's great because it's the competition brings the prices down. I want to say when I bought this setup, being the Power Station and the briefcase solar panel back in 2020, I think I paid $1,500 for it. I think on Goal Zero's website now, you can get the 1500X, the 1500 watt, for about that same price. So the prices have come down on the Power Stations a little bit. One thing I can say that I really appreciate about Goal Zero is, from best I can tell, I bought a bunch of accessories from them, including the lights and the charger, and I bought a solar charger and the storage bag and all the things. It looks to me like the prices on those accessories are exactly what they were when I bought them 3 to 5 years ago. So, I mean, if you think about it, that's pretty awesome that they managed to keep their prices the same and they didn't have to raise them. I mean, also, we talk about preparedness on this channel. Even if you're not somebody who camps or boondocks or travels a lot, having a Power Station like this as a source of a battery backup is just huge. If you're in a long-term grid down situation and you have no way to charge your devices, keep a radio powered to get emergency news, or have a TV powered up, these things have so many uses in a grid down type of a situation. It's incredible. I know they're expensive. I know these power solutions are expensive, but in an emergency, I'm telling you right now, if you buy some type of a portable power station that you can recharge with solar, it's going to change your life. I just wanted to mention that this is the first and only power station I've owned. I know that there's a lot of other manufacturers out there nowadays that people seem to like Jackery. Goal Zero is not sponsoring my video. They don't know I'm doing the review. This has nothing to do with that. But I am curious to know what other people think about the other brands that are out there, how well they've held up. So I just wanted to mention, if you have opinions about either your Goal Zero experience or other manufacturers, like, please leave comments on this video, because I want to hear back from you guys. So I am definitely drinking the Goal Zero Kool-Aid on this one. You know, I've had this thing for 5 years. I've put it through its paces. It's been in all kinds of different environmental conditions. I've used tons of accessories with it. I've powered full-size appliances with it. I've charged devices, you name it. This thing's been flawless, so I'm a believer. I can't recommend the Goal Zero products enough. And as far as, for me, brand loyalty is concerned, the proof is in the pudding on this one. Literally, if I can put it through the paces like that for 5 years and it's not going to fail me ever or give me any problems, I'm sold. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. Highly recommend Goal Zero products. That's the gist of this review for you today. Until I see you guys on another video really soon, everybody take care of yourselves. I'm out of here.